Hi everyone, a very good afternoon, good morning, or maybe good evening to all around the world. I am Hui Chin from Business C-nergy Growth Movement. So today is our Business Synergy Spotlight number 2. Today we are going to talk about Asian business learning culture with KCC. Do you still remember last week we had our spotlight number 1, which was about redefining business and wealth with Dan Doria of Money and You program? What is business synergy actually? Let me do some introduction for all of you. Business Synergy and Growth Movement 2026 is in conjunction with Visit Malaysia Year 2026 this year. It is about igniting conscious co-creation and bridging impact capital together, raising professional standards and impacting Malaysia and Asian business ecosystem. And this BCG Business Synergy and Growth Movement is organized by Go Global Business Solutions Sdn Berhad, a project of Go Global Business School, and in partnership with Work Less, Earn More Academy and Borneo Referral Group Sdn Berhad. Today, we have our second session of Spotlight to meet and ask questions in our this live sessions of Power Break series. And if any of you watching us today, you have any questions, feel free to put it in the comment. And of course, our live sessions is coming to you every Thursday weekly in our live session, just like this. We have valuable learnings and opportunities for growth and also funding. And how much does it cost? It is now free of any cost. So if you would like to join us, we'll have the backdrop and with the QR code here to register and get the updates of our activities and be part of our movement together and elevate your business and life. So who do we have today? Today, we are inviting someone to talk about Asian business learning culture. And we are going to discover the essentials of thriving learning culture in Asian business and how technology and AI power organizational mastery. We are also going to talk about strategies to bridge tradition and innovation in ASEAN's economic footprint. Now, let me invite the highlights of today. Let's welcome KCC. He is the master trainer of trainers in Asia. He has trained close to 2,000 internationally certified trainers in the last 20 years and having trained more international certified trainers than anybody else. He is now the Vice President of International Union of Professional Trainers based in Nottingham, UK, with a tremendous track record in training in the last 40 years. He also co-founded a number of AI ventures, including Epic Travel.ai and QuestBikes.ai, two of his most innovative ideas that plan to disrupt the market. He has written 6 books, including the first hardcover book, Entrepreneurial Treasure Chest. Wow. Are you ready to dive into our Power Break sessions today? Let's put our hands together and welcome KCC. Hi, KC.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes,
All
I
right,
can
very
hear
good.
you
Thank
loud
you.
and clear.
Yeah, I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to Go Global and to you and to Aziza for inviting me to be here. It's a pleasure to be able to share. So I look forward to your questions and look forward to, giving as much value as I can to this session so that people coming in here will find it worth their time. So go ahead, Queen.
Yeah, thank you, Casey. So if you would like to get our information, you can always scan the QR code that you can see here. So this is what we would like to know about Asian business learning mindset and transformation. You've seen Asian business using learning as a strategic part of their business growth in terms of leadership development, business performance, and innovation?
Okay,
That's my first
so
question.
yeah, all right, okay. You know, the market environment has changed a lot since the COVID period, and there's been tremendous pressure on organizations worldwide in terms of a new reset, so to speak. Uh, the World Economic Forum has already stipulated by 2030 half the jobs will disappear. And in recent of these forums where all the business leaders in the world meet, they came to a conclusion that one of the major things they have to do is to reskill the workforce in view of the fact that job will change, technology, and in particular AI will impact how work will be and how jobs will be. So the recognition that reskilling, they call it the reskilling revolution, is going to be here, whether they like it or not. The question is, how do they go about it and what do they need to do? So when we talk about reskilling, we definitely talk about leadership development. How do we use learning as a way to improve performance and to also come up with innovations and ideas that would uh, turn the business upside down and be able to enable people to get results out of their business in a much better, faster, and quicker way than before. So learning becomes essential, and I think most business leaders recognize this. But having said that, there are also sectors which may be quite lost in terms of how to go about it. So maybe the understanding is yes, we need to embark on learning as part of the investment in the company for their workforce. But are they looking at it from a very activity or event based, or are they looking at it strategically? To my knowledge, unfortunately, does the person in charge of learning organization, do they get involved in the strategic directions of an organization? When organization do their strategic planning, do they invite the learning manager or the learning director? If they are not there, that means they don't see learning as being contributing to the future of the organization or to the strategic direction of the organization, right? So that's a question to ask, and it was wide and varied depending on what organization we talk about. And if you're talking about the more enlightened organization, the MNCs, perhaps they will see this as being essential. But if we go all the way down to SME, maybe they are not clear how to use learning as a strategic tool to enable them to get the kind of market advantage or performance that they require. So how do you see learning? Some people see it as just, sending your staff for training, see it as an event, rather than to see it as how do you contribute to productivity and performance of the individual. So the question is this, and I don't have an answer to the question. I only have a answer in terms of scenarios out there. So your second question is after that?
So
Your second
from
question.
what you say now, I can sense that some SMEs or businesses, they do not see learning as one of the essential part in their future planning. So what are the challenges in terms of the market offerings for this learning industry as well?
Well,
Are
I
there
would say
any
the
present
smaller, yeah,
challenges?
yeah, there are many challenges, many, many. If you look at SMEs, I guess no fault of theirs. I mean, they don't see learning as a strategic tool. They see it as something, we call it necessary evil. Particularly in my country, Malaysia, because organizations are forced to put a 1% levy on the payroll to give to the organization RDC. So you have money parked into a government organization, and then you say, oh, okay, I'm going to get my money back. So what do? I just run training. So you get tons and tons of what we call team building programs because you can get back your 1%, get back the money you put in. But in many of such cases, not all, of course, many of these are just activities, just events. Some of it has very little learning outcome. Some of this has very little impact on the organization performance and productivity. It's just getting the staff to be happy for a couple of days, get them to enjoy themselves, come back, and life goes on. Nothing changed really. The real measurement of productive learning is not what happened during the event, it's what happened after the event. So I always tell the trainers I train, what happened during the training, what happened after the training is more important than what happened during the training. because most trainers only focus on what they do during the training. But this really asks is, so what happened after the training? Are there going to be significant changes? Are there going to be an impact on performance? So the challenge is, my feeling is that because of the system in place, which cause organization to use the money they have on training, but they are not used in a way which is as productive as should be, in a way that can produce real business result as it should be, because the level of knowledge in the market in terms of how do you get results from training is very low, and not among the SME owners. The business owners obviously may not know these areas, but even people in the training profession are not clear about this. So it's something that need to be educated. And to me, my worst fear is when business owners actually don't believe in training. They don't. They just run training events or learning events because got money there, ma, and they don't expect a lot. That's my biggest fear. When we are in the learning environment, when we are in the learning industry, and we have the market who just came to a certain conclusion without, you know, understanding the implications, then it becomes a danger for us in that sense. So these are the challenges and many other, if I will go through with you later. But yeah, maybe you want to go to your next, any other question you
Yeah,
want to ask?
thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Casey, for sharing. My sentiments exactly. They do not know how much is the investment and then the ROI after the training. They do not know how to measure it, especially we are also from the same country, Malaysia. So
Yeah,
with
yeah.
decades of experience of you working with different countries, maybe China, Middle East, and Southeast Asia. So what are the cultural or generational challenges in fostering an integrated learning environment, like what you said just now? So do they see learning as learning? What's the difference in different countries? And how the technology solution help overcome these barriers?
Well, my experience is limited to as far east as Korea and as far west as Poland. So I can only speak within these few the countries in between. So it's not very different in terms of within the country. Like let's say China, for example. I mean, the MNCs there are more mature in thinking in terms of utilization of learning as a strategic tool and for business improvement. Some do very well, some maybe not do so well. And then you have the local Chinese organizations, Chinese companies that may not see learning as a strategic tool, but they do empower learning. I mean, training is definitely all over the place, huh? Because in the Chinese culture, education is so important. So they relate education and when they transfer it to work environment, it's still education. However, I mean, the Chinese history is that if you are a poor person, you want to become rich, you have to pass the imperial exams, which means you have to be educated. So the Chinese always put a lot of emphasis on education. So that's fine. So there's an emphasis on that. But to what extent does this money spent and time spent and resources spent will end up with real results is still a question, yeah? Now, we talk about ROI, and you still have a lot of people out there who will ask questions like, huh, training can be measured, man? Training results can be measured, man? Soft skill can be measured, man? Then they ask questions like leadership training, can result be measured, man? These are ignorant questions. These are questions asked by people who has not dived deep to understand this. And when people ask me this, I know that, they and I don't blame them. I don't blame them. It's just ignorance. But worse, if it is asked by people in the training profession. That means, because most of the time, no offense meant to anybody, a lot of the trainers in the region are trained in a 5 days trainer, which is originally designed to train managers to train the staff. To become a professional trainer with only 5 days, and I'm sure you realize we're going enough. It takes 5 years to groom an engineer, not engineer, maybe a doctor, maybe 4 years to groom an accountant or an engineer. How do you think this profession can be groomed in 5 days? Can't possibly be, because, and unfortunately, there are thousands of professional trainers out there. I'm not sure if I should use the word professional. I'm going to get people very upset with me, and they're going to throw things at me. But that there are 19,000 accredited trainers in my country, 19,000. Wow, so many, because everybody jump into this and it's good money.
Yeah.
But then, having said that, I am also aware that the organization HRTC is looking into uplifting the quality and the level of proficiency and competency of the trainers. They have programs to do that, and they are looking into even continuous professional education. But the interesting thing I want to share with you, when the first trainer program came out, which in what you call a training cycle, starts with training analysis, followed by design and planning, followed by implementation, and then followed by evaluation, which is the measurement part. In the very beginning, they take out the last part, which is very
Evaluation.
strange. The evaluation part, they took it out. Because 5 days cannot do very much, so they do only the first three area. So in other words, in the initial part, not now, of course, that is not being valued. But really, at the end of the day, isn't that what training is about? You have to evaluate results, man. So going back to your specific or the question of different countries, it is not different in terms of the maturity of learning for business with various countries. You get a more enlightened organization, you get a less enlightened one. So it's either two-way. Once you become result focused or you become activity focused. Just like in my country, a lot of the less enlightened organization will be very activity focused. That means running events, running training events, and not measuring the results. At the end of the day, training managers become event managers, which is the saddest part. I once had a situation where I was in China, in Beijing, and this was this very big company. Can you imagine this very big company? And I was training their managers to become trainers, and then the learning director came in and did the opening, and he kind of reported what is the learning function doing, to all the managers. And I realized that she's talking about number of hours of training provided, number of training programs done, number of events done, and she's coming out with the entire report of achievements, and every single one is events. Every single one is activity. There is no mention of what is the result. And this is a very big company, So I evangelize to me the idea that we should start looking into result focus and not just activity focused. Because in my early years, some of you know I'm a chartered accountant by profession. And we know,
Oh.
yeah, I'm a chartered accountant. The world worst chartered accountant. So when I was 29, I decided that the accounting is not for me. But so people ask me about how you can switch at 29 years old from being a chartered accountant to training. The reason is I just felt it's not for me. So I'm very fortunate. I discovered my passion at a very young age, 29 years old. I decided to go into training. But because of my training as a chartered accountant, and we measure every damn thing one, accountants, right?
Yeah.
So I used to ask training managers, how do you measure results? And the training manager will look at me. In my early years, they are more, because I started when I was 29, so most of the training managers are older than me. So when I ask them, they say, don't worry, Casey, trading just do got result one. But how do you measure that? I don't know. But in the 1990s, I was very fortunate to meet up with my mentor, Dr. Jack Phillips, who is a world-renowned expert in training measurement. I was so lucky to have met him and worked with him. And I brought him over to Asia many times. I fly him over to do workshops, and I learned from him. He's my mentor, and I'm his tuti. So he ran workshops on measuring ROI on training. But the interesting thing is this: we run all the training, but when I want to find out which organization implement it in Malaysia, the answer is not many. And in my entire career in training, I only get about 4 consulting jobs on measurement. I did a training measurement system for Merck, MRECK, China Eastern Airline, and Schneider. And the interesting thing is all of 3 are in China, not in this part of the world. So I want to evangelize the idea that we need to refocus on that. I hope I'm not deviating from the question, because you still ask me one more part about cultural difference. I cannot say I'm an expert in that area, but I want to tell a little bit of stories. In Singapore, you do training, you have to go through the initial barrier. They will look at you and say, who are you? You any good or not? So you have to go through that initial barrier. And once you get credibility, Singaporean participants are very obedient. They will do what you ask them to do.
Yeah.
Malaysians like to have a lot of fun, but they accept you. They are more. It's more relational, and yeah, you get them to do things, and they will be willing to do things. Except there always be some who will always try to challenge that. In China, when you do training, if that's what you're asking, the moment you give them an activity or something to do, they will look for the loophole. They'll find a way to beat you. Why? Because in China, it's the law, ma, and they don't have a religious thing, so they're not looking up at God and say whether I'm doing the right thing. They just say, okay, this is the law, where's the loophole? That's what they look for. Indonesians are a lot of fun to train, but they don't necessarily follow your rules. The Filipinos are very good conceptually, so they will go into long debates with you. So yeah, training in all different culture will be interesting. But in terms of strategic usage of training, it is the same in most countries, some more enlightened and some less enlightened. I hope I've answered your question. If not, please ask me again. Oh,
Yeah.
you did ask about
So I
technology.
really,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I really agree what you said before, because I don't need to go to the TTT. I'm one of the accredited trainers in Malaysia, but then I don't need to go to TTT because by profession I have been a teacher for 20 years. So that is how I got my TTT exempted and
Oh,
also got
really?
accredited. Yes. So
Okay.
my next thing, because I also see that we actually have 4 stages to develop a program, right? ADDIE. So the last part, evaluation, is very important, and some trainers, they might not be able to do it. So now with AI, so how are we going to pair learning, training industry with AI together? Like myself, I actually co-created an app with one of my friends that incorporated ADDIE, the ADDIE model, in helping trainers to develop a program from analysis until design, development, implementation, and evaluation to measure the
Wow.
success not only for behavior but also for knowledge and also the maybe return on investment. So
That's
how do we
amazing.
pair this AI
Wow.
and learning industry together?
I should find
Your
out more about what
experience?
you have done. I should find out more what you've done because you're probably sitting on $1 billion product.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to talk about that. But before that, I want to refer to what you say about being a teacher and then going to be a trainer. You know, uh, some of you know that I am a kind of a protege of Robert Kiyosaki. I worked with him before he wrote the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. And my so-called claim to fame is if you take the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, you can find my name there, acknowledged in the book. So my name is mentioned in the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. I was working with him, helping him with organizing his events in Malaysia and Singapore. And then, of course, when he wrote the book, he just acknowledged my support. But I want to tell you a story. Robert's father is a school superintendent. He's in education, and he's a trainer. So at one of the sessions which I was organizing for him, he asked people, "What's the difference between a teacher and a trainer?" He asked people, and then they all say, "Pedagogy lah, this gogi lah." They come up with all kind of scientific differences between a teacher,
Educational terms.
an educationist, and a trainer. And it's probably all right answer, but he says no. And then people keep on coming and answer, he just say no. And finally people got frustrated, nobody want to answer him already. Then he said, let me tell you what's the difference between a teacher and a trainer. The only difference between a teacher and a trainer is a trainer make more money. That's
Yes,
what he said.
you're so right about it.
That's basically what he said. Now on the technology side, first thing I want to establish is this. There was a conference by the organization I belong to as vice president, the International Union of Professional Trainers, based in Nottingham, UK, with also an office in Athens and Istanbul, and here in KL. In that international conference, the whole team is AI and training lab. And the conclusion at the end of the training is AI will not replace trainers, speakers, and coaches. It will not. So don't even think of that. I mean, maybe it will happen. I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, and I agree with the outcome of that conference, it won't replace because when you go to ChatGPT, you get information. But you need to understand what learning and training is about. Learning and training is about changing your work habits. It's about change. It's about how you do things and what you need to change. I don't think you go to ChatGPT and give you some information, you're going to change what you do as a habit. You get more information, which is great. So the trainers coming in, or the coach, or the speaker, or whatever it is, ultimately our aim is to help people make changes, and you need the human element to do that. So what part does AI play? Well, you described the four parts, right? The analysis part, the training
ADEI. Yeah.
analysis, the design part, and then comes the implementation part, and lastly the evaluation part. So AI plays a role to improve the quality of analysis and the speed of how they can be done. By the way, we need to talk because I do have an AI system for training analysis. And then you go into the other part of planning and design that, yeah, in AI can help you a lot and speed up the process. I have one AI tool that can even produce out of one topic that you have 300 PowerPoint slides for you. Uh, and a lot of trainers may want to emphasize on that, but at the end of the day, you need to do your own thing. You cannot rely on AI producing all the content for
Yeah.
you because it has to be still you. What the AI can do is to give you prompters and give you inspiration. But for you to speak from your heart, it still has to come from your heart, right? And the last part is the analysis, is the evaluation part. That one, yeah, AI can play a role in doing that. So that's how I see AI's integration into learning. Of course, there are many other parts like profiling of people, deep analysis, organizational requirements for performance improvement. All these will have a role for AI to play, but it does not replace the trainer, the speaker, or the coach. That's my point. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So this transformation is going to help the business transformation as well. So how do you see this regional movement that we are talking about, business synergy and growth? How do you see this in supporting trainers, educators, and also business leaders?
Okay. So, try to understand the question. You're asking me about the international certification. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, right.
Yes. So, mm,
Yeah, I mean,
so
I
with
felt that.
the
Yeah, yeah,
certification for trainers from
yes,
UK,
yes,
so how
yeah,
do you
right, right,
see
right.
this movement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, ours is not the only one, but I would say that obviously what is available right now is not enough. The 5 days trainer is not enough. So my program, which has been running for 25 years, quarter of a century, which is called the International Certified Professional Trainers, have done close to 2,000 trainers in the whole region, 16 countries. It's a 1 year program. So it's not 5 days, it's 1 year. Of course, you don't attend class every year, every day, but it integrates between online learning with hybrid, with class, with on live online, plus apprenticeship, which is the only one we do. That means we actually have on the job training for trainers face to face. We also have assessments, and we also have analysis of the competencies, because we have a list of 53 competencies required for trainers. So they have to do a lot of practice, and from there we assess where they lack in terms of those competencies. And every student get their own personal coach, one-on-one, for 1 whole year. So that's how deep and how extensive the program is. And I feel there's a need for that in order for people to go at a really high level and be able to go out there and do really good job as a professional in the area of learning and development. So that's what we did, and we've been doing that for 25 years, and we continue to have lots of people coming from the program. And I've just finalized. So initially, it was done face to face. So I've done this program in Saudi Arabia. I've done it in Korea. I've done it in China, Vietnam, Indonesia, many countries. But now only they and sometimes Indonesians, for example, I didn't do it in Indonesia. They fly in from Jakarta just to attend class on the weekends. But now we do everything online except for the apprenticeship and also the annual trainers camp, which we do, which is face to face. So we believe that what we have can contribute towards what business synergy and growth is trying to get at. That's why I'm involved in this to do two things. Number one is how to work together with business synergy to raise the level and the quality of uh, training and learning to make it available to the business people out there so that they get better outcomes. All right. Secondly, is to help raise the level of the proficiencies and the competency of trainers out there. Yeah. Now, earlier you also asked me about technology and how to use AI. I kind of talk about that, but I haven't completed that. Right. So, is it okay if I talk about that?
Yes, definitely.
Uh oh, we still have a lot of time, huh? So
So if
I got to.
any one of you online have questions, you can also put
Yeah.
in the comment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I want to let you know. You asked me challenges, and I'm going to talk about it now. Is that
Mm,
okay with you?
mm,
Okay. I want
yeah.
to give you a scenario. I want to give you a scenario. Let's say you send somebody for training, and they attended a 2 days training, and one of the topic is how to deal with disruptive stuff. Okay, let's say that, and the training is so good because it's run by you, ma. Kui Yin. Let's say it's a great training program, and they learn this how to deal with disruptive stuff. So the people who went for this training go back to the office. There's no disruptive stuff, right? I mean, so happen don't have lah. So what will he do? In normal circumstances, what will he do? When he learns something that is very useful but don't have that situation, so what do he do? He probably take the workbook and put it aside for a while, huh? Right? That's what you do. Now let's say 4 months later, there is a disruptive stuff. So what will a normal person do? I mean, let's use Malaysian. What will he do?
Mm.
Number one,
You,
he will say,
mm,
"Oh, I forgot everything already, oh." Possible. Or number two, you
yeah.
say, I think I remember a little bit. I try lah. Number three, I will go and look for the workbook, search for it, study it, and then go and do it. Will he do that? Will he do
Not
the third
likely.
thing? Not likely. So what
Not
happened
like.
to that very valuable session that he went to, the training session where he learned how to deal with stuff? What happened to that? Gone, right? So
Yeah.
that's my first issue. I mean, unfortunately, that happens. Why? Because the timing between the learning and the doing in many cases is too long.
Mm,
It's too long for people to remember it, to be able to continue it. Now, granted that when you go to a training session, the second issue is relevance. First one is timing. The second issue is relevance. You go and attend a 2 days training program, 30% maybe you can use it because it's very relevant to your job. The other 70% is good to know, but not relevant to your job. But it's good to know, or not relevant, or not usable at that point in time. And that's
mm,
fine because learning is also for development. But the sad thing is, will I be able to use it 4 months later when I have that situation? No lah, maybe not lah. So that's the disadvantage of training compared with, let's say, coaching. In
mm,
coaching, I deal with your specific issue. It's definitely relevant, because it's you that I'm dealing with. We are talking about something that you want to know. All right. So let's come back to coaching later on. The third issue with training is, now I'm not saying training is not important. It is very, very important. It still be the main dish, the main thing that people do. We just have to recognize that there are some areas that we need to improve. Like I said earlier, the first part is making the time between learning and doing shorter. Number two is making the training content more relevant to the individual. The third one is, why 2 days? Why 2 days, 3 days? Why not 4 half days? And we all know from time immemorial, all this research shows that micro learning is more powerful than long stretches of training. So why
mm,
not 4 half days? Why must be 2 days? Well, I'll tell you why. Because trainers don't want to go 4 times. We just want to go one time, do 2 days, make the money, and say bye-bye. Now, trainers are going to hate me for saying that. But, that's
the
logistically, of course,
reality.
reality. I mean, of course, it's the real world. I mean, also, training managers don't want to organize 4 events. Just organize one. I mean, how
Mm,
could I, If my participants are from another town, I cannot send them back, send them 4 times. So I understand that that's a reality of logistics. But if you look at it deeply, you still need to recognize that the maximum outcome of effective learning is still small bite learning, still micro learning. And the last part with the defect in training is people are sent for training, right? And
Yeah.
the joke is not true. The joke I make is 50% of people that attend training in corporate world don't want to be there. The other 50% don't know why they're there also. So do they want to attend a training because they have to or because they want to? And we all know, unfortunately, in a corporate world, yeah, of course we have to send people because they have to, understood. But would you agree that
Mm.
if people attend learning because they want to, not have to, it'd be a lot more powerful? Okay.
Yes,
So
definitely.
now the question is, how do we do this now? Is it possible to
Yeah.
do this now with technology? And my answer is yes, lah, which previously cannot be done. What technology? AI. So AI can make this happen and eradicate this particular 4 issues that we talk about. So I came up with the GIMS framework, GIMS, GIMS framework
Mm-hmm.
for learning in the future. I call it the future of learning. First of all, learning must be just in time. I want it, I learn it now, I use it. Is it possible? Yes, now it is. But in the past, it take 2 months to organize a training session. But today with AI,
Yes.
you can do it faster and better. So the just in time is important. Number two, issue based. That means I want to be learned because I have an issue, I have a scenario, I have a concern, I have a problem, if you like, to deal with. I have to talk to a customer next week, and it's a very difficult customer, and I'm lost as to how to
Mhm.
deal with him. I have some stuff. I have in the last 3 months, my team and I are not able to meet deadlines, and there's another one coming up. I really need to find a way how to get that done. Uh, my boss didn't talk to me for 3 months now. I need to talk to him. So these are issues I deal with. Now I need help. I need. Now, what does managers do when they need help? Do they talk to the boss? No. Who do they
No.
talk to? Nobody. Maybe they talk to themselves. So this is the gym part, the GI. M, micro learning, obviously. And S is self-directed. That means I want it. So that's a JIMS framework. Now,
Mm.
I have been sitting on this for 2 years now. And with AI, as of March last year, I started working on this because I got an inspiration that I need to get it done. And I'm happy to say to you, I've incorporated this GIMS framework into my QuestBike.ai. Now, what is QuestBike.ai? It's a performance support learning system. Performance support learning system that uses the GIMS approach that eradicate, not entirely, but significantly, the challenges faced by normal learning. And this has been launched 2 weeks ago, soft launch. And you will hear more about it in the future. And if anybody have interest, just find out from me what it is all about and how
Wow.
trainers and coaches can come into this platform and be part of it. That means I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm asking you, hey, you want to make some money, you want to come into my platform, and please volunteer yourself. I mean, of course, you need to find out more first. All right, so I've answered your question, Miss Wu. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Casey, you talk about Robert Kiyosaki just now, and he is also you, and I know that you are also one of the alumni of Money and You. So in
Yes, I
December,
am.
we'll be doing this Money and You in Sabah. Did you know that? So in supporting this movement, how do you see that this business synergy and growth movement can
Yeah.
also, with you together being the advisor of this movement, how are we going to support the
Yeah.
trainers, the business learning culture, and even some SMEs, maybe they don't even know what learning is about?
Right. Just give you a bit of history. I attended Money and You in 1995, I think. Yeah, early. And the first Money and You event in Malaysia is organized by me. I'm the first franchisee for
Wow.
Money and You. Yeah. Kodoa and the whole gang and all that. I did the first one. And then And then I continued to support the program when it was taken over by Success Resource. So I was working with Richard to get this done and so forth. So Money in You has been an eye opener for me. It has really opened up my eyes and helped me significantly. And as all of you would have been aware, Robert Kiyosaki was initially involved in this as well. And that's where I got to meet him and learn from him as well. So I think in terms of business synergy and growth, there's a lot from Money in You that will help it, that will help you to really grasp, because the concept is actually quite deep. And if you translate that into the real world, it's overpowering. It's really going to change the entire perspective of what business is about, what money is about, what you are about. So I would say that this will be significant, and I want to suggest that if you have not explored this, you should. Everyone. And this is a program that would be significant. And if you have a chance to go to the business school, even better. Yeah. And you just have to hang out with Money and You grads, and you see some difference. The way they look at things is different. And the way, not everybody, of course, but the first thing is, there are phrases that I learned from them that are so powerful, like you have to give in order to receive, which is one. Another one is clarity is power. So many things, that short sentence, but if you look into it, makes a lot of sense. So that's how to
Yeah.
say. Okay. Did
Okay.
I did I
So
answer your question? Maybe I didn't. So you have to ask me a bit more specifically so
yes,
that I can deal
yes,
with it.
definitely you have. So I heard about this Quest by and Jim's your framework for training. So what is the future trends that you can foresee in this Asian business learning, especially regarding this change in leadership style? Just now we mentioned a little bit about it. So how do they look at this learning and training? And of course, we with this robust technology adoption, will there be any change in leadership style in this near future with AI coming into the picture?
Okay, yeah, obviously. So there are two parts you ask. One part is how does it change learning, and the other part, how does it change leadership style? Huh? The
Leadership
first
style,
part
yes.
is, well, we have to incorporate AI into learning, but as a tool, not as an entire thing by itself. So we have to use AI as a tool to enhance the results that we can get out of learning, like for example, in terms of design, in terms of analysis, and in terms of evaluation. Now, in QuestBite.ai, we use AI for getting clarity. So a person can come in with a particular issue that he need to deal with, but many people are not clear exactly what their challenges. They know they have a problem, but they need to talk to somebody, and maybe they want to start talking to an AI first to get that clarity before they talk to somebody. So what we do is we initial that initial part to provide them with clarity, and then what the AI do is to match you with the best expert who can help you with that particular issue or that performance requirement. So it's a performance support system that will help individuals in organization to get answers or be able to connect with an expert who will coach and who will work with the person to help him overcome that work issue. So it's very result based, right? Because you are not talking about something that is not relevant, something that immediately that you need to address in your work environment. So that's how it works. And of course, we do a lot of other AI inputs into it, such as loading the AI with. Let's say you have a company which wants to have their own learning portal with the AI, with a learning AI that can support their workforce. Without, because sometimes the workforce want to know something, who do they ask? But if it is all loaded into the AI, they can go to the AI and ask, and they get it. So we provide customization of our platform for organization, right? And who are the experts? The experts could be external coaches, but can you imagine this, that if you have an organization, you have past managers and people who has left the
Mm,
company, but they are the one
yes.
which has immense knowledge and experience and all that. Of course, you have to selectively determine who can come back and still coach and mentor the existing workforce through a platform. And the AI can match. Let's say I'm a sales executive in an organization, and I'm dealing with this client, and I need to know how to go about dealing with this client. And I realize that the person who is the expert in this client has already left the company, but I want to talk to him.
Mm.
But maybe he's inside this platform that I have, the company AI platform customized by us, that could provide me with some strategies or some ideas how to tackle this particular client. That would be so, so powerful, right? To re-engage past managers and experts to come back to provide assistance to their existing company. Of course, there are provisos, there are conditions, there are filters that need to be put in place. So
Mm.
that's one part of it that need to be considered. All right. Did I answer your question?
Yes, that's the technology part that
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
do knowledge management, which we can
Yeah. All
store
right.
intangible
Yes. Yes.
knowledge,
Yes. Right.
experience. That's knowledge management, right?
All right.
Yeah.
Right. What's
So
the
the
second
second
part?
part for leadership style,
All right.
leadership
Leadership
style,
style. Yeah. You know.
conscious leadership.
Yeah. I still need to learn from Aziza what that is in deeper sense, lah. But I guess go back to something simple, lah. Actually, the changes is not about redefining what leadership, in my opinion, the changes
Mm.
is how do we migrate to that style or that way of leadership that would give us the best result today. If you are a leader in 40 years ago, the scenario and the environment is different. The joke I say is, if 40 years ago you tell a staff to do something, they'll just do it. Today, you tell a staff to do something, they will look at you and say, why? Right? So, so leadership has to change, right? In understanding the present workforce we have, is different. They are brought up differently. They have different ways of looking at things, and very importantly, they are less resilient. You say
Mm.
something, next moment they will give you a resignation letter already.
Gen Z.
Yeah, because they cannot take what my parent also never say anything. You say something. Who are you? I have a staff in my China office. One day he came to office and he told my manager, I don't want to work anymore already. Why? Because my mother say she can pay me better than you. So we are dealing with a very different workforce, and of course the
Mm.
leadership style has to change accordingly. But the fundamental doesn't. The best definition of a leader, in my opinion, is Joel Barker. Joel Barker, Barker. You should look up to him. He wrote a very good book called The Business of Paradigms, which I love. He say a good leader is someone you will follow to places that you will not go by yourself. Now that doesn't
Mm.
change. That definition of a leader does not change. A good leader is someone you will follow to places that you will not go by yourself. That doesn't change, right? But how do you go about that change? So that's my take on leadership style. Is that okay?
Yes, that's very good. So that's why we have this community of business synergy and growth together with everyone for those business who are enlightened and maybe not yet enlightened. So you mentioned about the enlightenment just now. So what kind of business to you has been enlightened?
Well, it's not a type of business, it's the maturity of the business in terms of the culture of organization and understanding that at the end of the day, performance comes from human beings, right? You make people first before you make profits. I think you heard that somewhere before, right? So an elected organization realize that you need to have people in the organization which will want to will want to instead of have to. This is John
Okay.
C. Maxwell idea
Mm.
of people. Are you having a culture of organization where people do things because they have to, or is it people do things because they want to? And an IT organization understood that. An organization will set in systems, processes, and interventions that would create a culture of people who want to. So the difference between commitment and compliance. If you're still running a compliant organization, You have to struggle. You have to push people. You have to, a lot of things you have to do. That doesn't mean that we don't have rules and compliance that we need to have. But what are people driven by? Are they driven by things that they want to do in support of the organization direction, or because they do things because they have to? So that's a compliance versus a what I call a committed individual. So an enlightened organization will understood that would have, as I mentioned, systems, processes, and interventions that will drive people towards a committed stage, not a compliance stage. I don't. That's my thought on an enlightened organization. Uh, that's how I see it. Yeah, maybe I should write a
Okay.
book about it.
Yeah, that would be very interesting.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
also one of the reason maybe why we have all these together in this community. I especially like the way like we are dealing with different generation now, and leadership may go toward to the pinnacle of leadership is like people aspire to follow instead of they have to. They want to follow the leaders instead of they have to. So what is the reason for you to say yes to support this business synergy and growth movement? So, what do you want to tell the professional trainers and business leaders out there about this movement? What are we doing? And with no cost at all to join us with this QR code. So, would you like to share your thoughts about the reason?
Well, first and foremost, you can't be alone. You should never walk alone. Sorry, I'm a Liverpool fan. You never walk alone. I mean, you are a if you are in the profession of helping other people, you have to be with people. I mean, if you are a coach, a trainer, or a speaker, you need to be with others, because I always tell people the day you stop learning is the day you should stop training. So this organization that is available to you is an avenue for you to continue to learn, continue to grow, continue to connect, and work with people. And that's how you grow in what you do. You cannot stay home and look at yourself, look at the mirror, and then grow by yourself. You can, I mean, to a certain extent, but growth is when you listen to others and pick their brains and get inspired by what other people say or do, and see how you can pick up some things that you can do for yourself, right? But aside from that, I think what is created is a opportunity for us to go global. And the people behind this organization has the kind of connection and the kind of linkages that could help you. But more important than that, they have the interest to help you.
Mm.
Uh, you can belong to a organization that is international, but you might not get the same degree of support and help that you might get from Go Global, from this business synergy that's set up. So I suggest that everyone should give it a try, but don't just go in for the sake of getting something. Go in to see what you can contribute, because if you can
Mm.
give, you shall. Because in order for you to give, in order for you to receive, you also need to give. Yeah, and that's the whole platform from which things happen. So that's my thoughts. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Thank
let me
you
ask you:
very much.
do you want me to
Yeah.
sell this? I can sell this, but I want a commission. I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
It's actually asking everyone to come together with this community, whether your gap is there. Like for myself, for me, I have been a teacher, so you know that I had no money. Now I have become a trainer. Now you know that I want to earn more money. So there's a gap between that. So with this platform and this community, this movement together, I work with different people like Casey, yourself, is a very good advisor and mentor to every one of us. So there is a gap that we are trying to fill. There is a business that we are trying to transform. So I would say it's not about selling, it's about like what you say, coming together and make something amazing happen. Especially this year, the movement is highlighting our 2026 Visit Malaysia year. And in June, we are going to Sabah for the working together with the tourism board as well. So
Can I
it
interject something?
Yes.
Can I interject? Because you're talking about Visit Malaysia, right? Yeah, which is
Yep.
very important to
Yep.
the country. Now, I want to let you know
Yes.
visitmalaysia.ai belongs to me.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So I'm along with this,
Yep.
huh? All right. Sorry I interrupted you. Go ahead. My
It's
apologies.
okay. We are so glad to hear that as well. So every Thursday, we have this power break, as you can see on the screen. So we have this business synergy spotlight every Thursday. So how do you join us? You join us for free. Just scan the QR code on the screen and you'll be updated with all the events and activities that we are going to have online, free of charge. You can get your business partners, your stakeholders, your managers together at 4 o'clock or maybe sometimes in the morning, and we'll be sharing business insights, learning trends, different culture, and you will also talking and start discussing with all these to close the gaps. So here, we are transforming the way people do business, travel, and impact lives globally. So, through this Go Global Conscious Capitalism framework with Sabah as the business wellness tourism destination, that's the mission for this year and highlight for this year. With that, I will ask Casey, do you have any last conclusion that you want to tell our audience out there?
Oh, actually, I want to know, are there any questions from the audience? Yeah?
The
No?
questions
No
is
question?
asked about the
Oh,
enlightened business.
oh, okay. That's one question. All right. I don't have anything to
Yeah.
add except to say, be with us and you never walk alone, okay?
And this is a journey of holding hands together.
Right, right,
Thank
right,
you
right.
so much, Casey, for sharing your insights and also your success story, the
Uh,
integration, and your experience with us. That's knowledge that we won't be able to buy out there. So stay tuned to our Business Synergy Spotlight next Thursday and scan the QR code. Join us and have the updates every week. Thank you very much. Thank you, Casey, for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you